Welcome back, folks. We have the Dow Industrials down 14, Nasdaq up 20, S&P's up 1.5. We're getting a little movement. Those markets are moving around a bit. We have a great guest for you, folks, a new guest at TFNN. We have Gail Mercer. Gail runs TradesHelpDesk.com. Gail Mercer, welcome to TFNN.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Gail, and Traders Help Desk.
Well, I've been a trader for a little over 15 years now. I started out with a company that actually programmed indicators for TradeStation and NinjaTrader and multi-charts.
Cool.
And I just fell in love with the markets.
Yeah, once you're hooked, you're done.
Yeah, you are. I started out trading Forex because I worked full-time.
Okay.
And so I started trading Asia and London, and that's primarily what I still trade today.
Nice. Love to get you.
So what are your hours like at that?
Yeah.
I get up every morning about 3 o'clock in
Okay.
the morning, Eastern time, and I trade usually until about 11 o'clock, and then usually around 8 o'clock I'll start looking at the markets again.
Nice.
That's cool.
So-
That's cool. So in the Nadex platform, if we go and take a look at that Nadex platform, I mean, we were talking a little bit about what do you like trading inside the Nadex platform?
I love Forex, and I love the 2-hour binaries and the daily binaries. I just think they're wonderful products to trade. I'm not much of a weekly trader, but it's just my personality. You know, I'm not really good at staying with something long term. But I do trade some indices, just not a lot of them.
Well, when you trade the currencies, you don't need anything else. The currency market's the biggest market in the world, right? I mean, that's. You know what's intriguing is that you must have loved it when Nadex came out, because as a currency trader, right, the risk and the leverage has always been huge, but the difference in a Nadex product is that you don't have a wipeout scenario.
Well, that's true. I was actually trading during the wipeout of the Swiss National Bank, and I was actually trading current spot Forex.
Okay.
And it was devastating. And I was not in the Swiss franc. I was actually in the euro yen.
Okay.
And I actually made a lot of money, but it could have worked against me. So
Right.
you're right. I absolutely fell in love with Nadex.
And what is your style? What is your trading style?
Typically, I'm more of a scalper. I use
Okay.
a 15-minute chart. I go in from anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And a lot of times I'll be out of my position within about 30 minutes.
And even with the binaries, you just need some quick movement, because they'd snap up and down pretty quickly also, right?
Right, and I use a lot of hidden divergence, and that's a momentum move, so it is really quick. Either you're right or you're wrong, and I use out of the money. So normally I'm getting anywhere from 1 to 1.2, 1.5 on my risk to reward ratio.
Yes.
So it works out really well.
Yeah.
Now, so Gail, I know you do some writing over at the Nadex Market News site. Tom and I were over there this morning, and you have an article up there this morning, which is timely enough. We weren't even sure. So you're talking about a plethora, and we were talking about this with a couple of market reports this week. So what are you looking at this week in terms of opportunities out there? We know we have so much in terms of Fed decision, of course, tomorrow. That can affect those currency markets. And, of course, ECB we're talking about, Japan Bank as well. Tell us about a little bit about what you put together over there for that article. It seems like it's very timely.
Yes, I think we're going to have some major moves off of the FOMC meeting tomorrow. That's one of the quad announcements that they do. So I think we're going to have a huge movement off of that. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be off the USD JPY. I think you're going to probably get more movement off of the euro dollar and the British pound dollar. You know, historically, the euro and the British pound will move more than the USD JPY.
Yeah,
so I'm
interesting.
looking to trade those two.
And when I was just going to say, so when you're trading those binaries, it's great. So and they trade out of 100, of course. So if you're looking for a better than 1-to-1, so are you getting in somewhere around maybe 35 or 40, where it's slightly out of the money? Is that the type of opportunities you?
Well, on that one, historically, the euro dollar is going to move about 80 pips.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could actually go out 4 or 5 strikes.
Nice.
And you're getting $15 to $25 on your risk.
Nice.
Now, the British pound, you could go out about 3 strikes because it's a 30 pip strike width. So you could easily go out about 3 strikes, but still you're within probably 15 to 25 in risk.
Nice. And we know how those move. I mean,
Right.
we don't trade them in the Forex as much. We love them in gold sometimes.
Right.
And that's a similar story where you can be 3, 4 strike prices out of the money in gold, and you only need $3 to $4 of movement, which is a realistic move, which is what you want.
is.
And then I think
It
that's
is.
what, yeah, pretty cool.
Exactly. Gold is one of them that I typically trade during non-farm employment.
Nice.
Because gold is the one that moves the most, not the currencies. You know, you can get a huge move in gold and maybe a 50 pip move on the euro. So I would
Yes.
rather go over and trade the gold.
We'll have to get you,
You know,
on for one of those days. You like
yeah,
those.
see, I love
know.
those too, Gail. And what happens is that I'm always watching the dollar and the euro for the gold. That you know, it's like, and it's really sweet, folks. Doesn't mean you're going to be right, but it's really sweet when one of them's not moving. I think that's what you're talking about. That you can trade off that divergence. Like, okay, hold it, man. It's only going to be a matter. It's going to
Yes.
move because fundamentally
They
it
gotta
has
correlate.
to move. One of them's
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly. And that's what I'm looking for is maybe a hidden divergence or a trend divergence that says, you know, this is probably the market bottom or the market top.
Yes.
And it quite often it will happen right before market report.
It seems it. Yeah,
Yes,
you
oh,
know,
for
that's
sure.
that's a great point, Gail. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So sometimes it's like, oh, is it really that easy? That like, yeah, you know, we get a market report. Okay, so we're going to get a change of trend now. It's like, okay. you know.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So tell us
Well,
about Traders Help Desk a little bit, Gail. We know that you have a great website over there. We were checking that out as well, and you do some writing for the Nadex market site. But tell us a little bit about Traders Help Desk. We have about a minute left to go in this interview.
Well, Traders Help Desk is actually there to help both new traders and experienced traders learn how to trade the markets using, you know, price patterns, in divergence, candlestick patterns, and volume analysis. And, you know, some of the topics can be quite complex, and we try to break it down so that regardless of your trading experience, you can actually learn to trade markets. And there's no better way than Nadex binaries,
And,
you know, in my opinion, of course.
and you know, it's going to be wild. You're going to get me trading these.
Watch out, baby.
No, you're going to get me trading. You're going to get me trading the binaries. I'll try because
I nudge you sometimes on the gold, and this is
do.
what I say to him, Gail,
Yeah.
because he'll be in a spread, and I'll say, man, you know, you were directionally trading that.
Right.
You were looking for like a $5 move.
Right.
And if that's your move, man, just like, you know, Gail, you're talking about, you could get a binary at 15, 20.
at a better price.
That's at a
Yes.
better risk reward
Right.
because
Right.
you're really only looking for a $5, $6 move.
Right.
Whereas in the spread, you might have exposure for $20. But
Right.
man, the risk rewards on some of those binaries on those
No,
days in
there's-
particular
there's
that
no
we look
doubt.
at.
There's
Yeah.
no doubt.
Oh, I love trading the market reports because you can limit your risk using the Nadex products.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you coming on. Look forward to having you again, Gail. You have a great one and a safe one.
Oh, thank you. You too, Tom.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Gail.
Okay. Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I are coming right back. 877-927-6648. Coming right back.